Together we can show the world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Pushing on through until the battle's won. No one's gonna give nothing to us. Into each other we put our trust. Standing united after the fight is done.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, the Ninja Reviewer here, time for another exciting edition of another review of the one and only One Piece. Whoa! Monkey D. Luffy right here. Oh, okay. It's episode 824, and here, Chopper, say hi. Hello. Hey. So, chapter. Episode 824 review. This week's episode of the One Piece WA. I gotta say, like, Toei, since it is Super Bowl Sunday, has made an absolute touchdown on Toei Animation right here. When it comes to this week, not only that, but yo, I gotta talk about Dragon Ball Super next, which I was gonna do first, but I'm like, fuck it, let me get One Piece out of the way first, and then finally Dragon Ball Super is gonna be for last. Cause yo, I gotta talk, yo, both this and Super were like on fire this week, like they really were. But when it comes to this episode of One Piece, oh man, like, granted, it wasn't like, okay, granted, now of course some people may complain about the pacing due to pretty much like, well, you know, we had basically, you know, the ending part where they basically tried to find like Luffy, like Sanji, and they're like, oh my god, like all these people and blah blah blah. But, you know, in the manga, of course, it didn't really happen. But I guess you could say when it comes to that particular part, it did build up a bit more of an emotional, like an emotional effort, because as you can tell, it built up that emotional scene where it's like, okay, well, you know what, we're gonna build it up to be like, oh shit, Sanji's worried, Luffy's not there, maybe something happened where they took him away and stuff like that. So that anything alone, well, I will admit they did kind of drag it out a bit for time to pretty much end the episode off. The way the suspense to me in the episode actually built it up, like making Sanji completely worried about what is happening to Luffy. So that's basically, but now let's talk about the other stuff at the very beginning of what is going down. But before we get to that, let's talk about, like, yeah, so let's get to the beginning, let's get to the other stuff, you know, mentioned in this episode. We basically find out that, like, oh, yo, can we say right now that Brook is MVP of this? Yo, it's confirmed, man. Brook, you'll see why. Like, yo, Brook, like, now anime viewers are seeing why we manga readers are calling Brook the MVP of this arc. And now you get to see why, because of what he did was nasty, man. And I don't mean nasty as in sex nasty. No, I'm not talking about shit with Big Mom. Oh, God, no. I'm not talking about that shit at all. What I'm talking about right here is what he did like a boss. Like, we didn't even see, even in the manga, we didn't even see this shit coming. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell did Brook manage to do that? He actually managed to get copies of the road poneglyph and the other poneglyph that Robin wanted for herself over there. So it's not only the road poneglyph, but the other types of poneglyphs as well. So Brook, my man, the Soul Kingu, Brook, officially now is the MVP of Whole Cake Island right here. So that was an amazing scene. I really did love the fact that everyone was shocked that he was able to fit all that. But that was crazy. I remember reading that for the first time. I remember I did a live reaction for the manga folks. Remember, I did a live reaction to this chapter where basically I see all those papers. I'm like, how the fucking Brook fit all this shit? Like, it's freaking insane, man. Like, I didn't really expect he was actually gonna fit all that inside his freaking skull. That's insane. So I was actually really glad. Like, Brook right now has to be like the best Straw Hat moments that he has gotten. And then of course Jinbei pretty much explains the situation to Chopper and Carrot, and obviously because they don't know, especially Brook, because obviously he wasn't there, unlike Nami and of course Jim and whatever that basically know the secret plans of Big Mom and what Pudding is really going to do to the VINSMOKES family in general. Speaking of the VINSMOKES, meanwhile, we have one scene where it looks so freaking really clean. It looks so damn great. But it's kind of odd because there was something wrong with a bit of the chin features. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, it's like the way they look though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, most of the times they look good. But then some of their facial features are just like it looks cool, but like, I don't know. To me, it just looks like a little off. Like when it comes to certain like facial like plant features. But the rest of the scene looked mad good. Like there are times then the body figures will look really good. But then there are other times where it's just like why their facial cheeks or whatever looking a little bit fucking weird. I mean, I guess it's because maybe they were drinking a bit too much, but they weren't even drunk. So I didn't really get exactly what was going on there. But you know, hey, whatever. I mean, the rest of the scene looked really so awesome. It looks so cool. And they're basically saying that, man, and they're bringing us all these like weak chicks. Like, I wish we had someone like, you know, Nami in them, like basically just coming to us and basically, you know, hey, and she's a navigator, so why not? She can actually help us out. So basically, or that, or basically just the bride herself. It's like, we already know what we're gonna do. It's obvious we are not going to side too easily when it comes to the Big Mom Pirates. We are going to do our best in order to spring our trap as well, in order to actually, you know, actually outduke the Big Mom Pirates ourselves. But little did he know, he's in for a rude awakening, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to really spoil anything within that part, but they're in for a very nasty surprise when we actually get to that point, which might be sometime within like months or so. But oh man, like Judge and the boys, they won't be laughing so long after a while. Oh, I forgot my hat. They're not gonna be laughing for a very good while. So we got that on the line. That was actually a really cool scene. Then we have a scene where Bobbin is basically trying to go after Sanji, and he gets shot by one of Capone's boys. Now, back then, we didn't really know exactly who shot him, but we can obviously tell who it was, especially from the blur, that I believe it was Vito, I think his name is, the dude with the tongue, you know, him. I think it was that dude who actually shot Bobbin, and Bobbin, yeah, he's just like on the ground, like, shit, why? Like, these motherfuckers, man, they are traitors. And there was speaking of that other scene, there was a door that had like a face and mouth and everything. I wonder if that door actually overheard exactly what's going on. But it doesn't matter. Now let's talk about the real nitty-gritty of the episode. I already talked about the ending, but I'll mention that again in a bit. The fight between Luffy and I forget what's his face. Cadenza's brother. I forget what the fuck his name is, but you pretty much know what it is. Yo, let's talk about how nasty that scene was. It was, yo, surprisingly for a character like that, which in the manga we didn't really care for this, but here's the thing. Well, okay, here's the thing too. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, it's crazy. So, Counter, that was his name. Counter, that was his name. I just looked it up. The name of him is Counter. So, Luffy versus Counter was actually surprisingly really well done. Now, of course, in the manga, we didn't really see this fight go down. We only saw where Luffy was basically just about to go to the location where Sanji is, but we never really got to see this fight actually happen. And all of a sudden, we have Cadenza's brother Counter, and now I gotta say, man, I thought like this dude was on some like, well, that again, maybe he wasn't really like on some father tier shit, because obviously Luffy was very hungry, and obviously Luffy could have taken this dude out with probably not that much of a problem. I mean, yeah, he'd probably still fight a bit, but probably not as much in order to actually fight off against him. Like, I thought this dude was pretty much like kind of like father character, like between like for Luffy, but no. But that again, you see, it's hard to compare because Luffy was like really weak and hungry. If it wasn't for that, then maybe Luffy would have stood much more of a better chance, and maybe his hockey wasn't really as strong enough and compared to Luffy's, and Luffy probably would have won without him being hungry. But because of that, it turns out that Luffy, you know, had a bit of a struggle with Counter, and it was really cool. Like, I love the way the animation, let's talk about the animation for this week's episode. Well, the rest of the animation looked just like smooth as butter, not like fantastic, but just smooth. This episode had this scene had the best animated scenes in the series, man, and it was so freaking good. I'm like, holy shit. Like, the rest of the anime actually did look really, really, solid this week, like with the animation, but we got a lot of stuff going on when in this episode. Compared to like previous episodes, we got a lot more stuff going down in this episode. I would say there was a lot of stuff that went down, and because of that, this definitely deserves the 5 out of 5 score line, because there was so much things going on, a lot of great epic content. Brook being an MVP, we had the Luffy versus counter finale, which I think was epic as balls, man. Yo, you cannot tell me that shit looked mad good. For a not known character like Counter fighting off against Luffy, granted, I know Luffy was weak in hunger, but oh man, that shit was nasty, man. It was nasty, man. Like, the way they animate that, it had to be Now Toshi and the boys, which is obvious. It's a Now Toshi episode, which kind of makes sense. And also, the animation for the ending scene actually looked really well done as well. So, when it comes to that, and of course at the very end, after all the struggles of all the bodies, Sanji finally finds Luffy. Oh, also that straw hat, man. I saw that in the preview, and then this episode, yo, that was so cool. Like, I love the way that's animated. Then, of course, we see Luffy on the ground, all very weak at the end of the episode. And that's exactly where the chapter, which is based on 855, I believe it is. Yeah, 855. That's where that chapter actually ends off. So next week should be the whole thing with 856. I'm not sure if I'm going to really look forward to that episode, because I'm not sure if a lot of stuff is going to happen. From what I remember, I really don't think so. But the episodes after that, I am really looking forward to. Especially when we get a better introduction of, I'm just going to call him the Future Man. Because if y'all saw the episode 825 preview, and hold on, I'm just checking the score of the game real quick. When it comes to basically the preview that we have for this episode, we saw the dude. I'm like, yeah, he's here. He's right there, and he's on the preview with the blue eye, and I'm like, oh my god, yo, I'm like, stop playing with me right now. Like, holy shit, Toei, are you dead ass on this? Holy shit. Like, we see the dude with the blue eye, just like in the opening. The Future Man has arrived, sorta, but I don't think they're gonna really introduce him. They wouldn't really do that unless Toei decides to change things up, which I don't know. Maybe it's just like a little small cameo, maybe. But again, we're not specifically too sure though. I know a lot of anime fans are gonna be a little bit. Manga fans are gonna be a little bit weirded off on if they do decide to change it. I don't really know. But that again, we just have to see what happens. Overall though, that is pretty fucking hype, and we already have like I seen already a animated color spread of what he looks like, animated. So that's really cool. That's gonna get me really hyped. But I know we're not gonna get him to like maybe next month or the month after that. Probably like April is my latest guess, probably. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a little more early than expected. Especially, yo, man, yo, oh my god. All right, let me stop right there. I don't want to spoil anything too much for the anime viewers. I don't want to spoil, but oh man, yo, this dude. Yo, this dude. All right. Let me stop right there before I get way too fucking hyped, because I love this dude. He's the best thing in the whole Cake Island, man. Let's go. Oh, I am so fucking hyped when he makes his appearance, man. It's going to be so good. So until then, that's basically it. I'm done. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below of this week's episode of the One Piece WA, episode 824. I'll see you guys next week for 825. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Click that bell to join the squad, boys. Get those notifications. Follow my social media plugins and my gamer tags as well. Peace, soul, love, chicken grease, and the sky's the limit. MM manga fans, keep supporting what you read and what. Oh yeah, God interview. Is the limit. MM manga fans, keep supporting what you read and what you watch. And yeah, that's it for the manga folks. I'll see you guys during the week for chapter 800 for the live reaction / review. And for the anime viewers, I'll see you guys next weekend. Bye bye, and hope you guys are enjoying the Super Bowl if you're Super Bowl fans.